For a lot of the guys that I coach, I've got this thing called Armageddon. Now, if you're a Bruce Willis fan, or you're certainly around in that kind of era, maybe the words here will make sense, right? For men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, it's not always about training like a bodybuilder. Sometimes it's also about looking at how we want to feel. So this is basically a non-stop superset. So we're gonna go from a tricep exercise over into a bicep exercise. Now, I fully appreciate that I'm very lucky right now. I'm in a big commercial gym, and apart from me and Tom that's behind the camera, we're the only people here, which is great. So read between the lines, when it comes to you doing stuff like this, how can you actually make this work for you and keep the intensity there? So for example, like I said, I'm gonna go from one side here doing triceps to over there doing biceps. I suppose in theory, I could just lower and raise this piece of kit. I also don't have to do this on cables. I could do this with barbells, with dumbbells, with resistance bands, all right? So if you are in a gym that's busy, just read between the lines. Anyway, the aim here is to go from 20 reps, triceps into biceps, into 15, 15, 12, 12, 10, 10, 8, 8. That's the plan. Now, obviously, read between the lines, because the 20 might end up being 21 or 18 because of the selection of the weight not being completely accurate, but it's fine. What we're after here is flooding your arms with as much oxygen and as much blood as you can possibly imagine. All right, so look, let me get straight into it. Tricep press down. It doesn't have to be the rope. You can choose anything. I'm not making an effort here to split the rope or anything. It's just literally just that tricep press down. Now, I'm just doing a quick warm up here. This wouldn't necessarily be something I do as the whole workout or the first thing in the workout. This could be put in, I would probably suggest, more towards the end of the workout. It's more of like a mass pump than anything else, all right? But really what I'm doing here is just testing the water and seeing what weight is appropriate for that first set of 20. That's a little bit light, he says reluctantly. So I'm just gonna make that a little bit heavier. Okay, that might even be a bit too heavy, but that's me just setting that up, ready for my first round of 20. Now I'm gonna come over here and set the biceps up. Just like with the rope for the tricep, this doesn't have to be a straight bar. Do anything you want, but this is what I'm choosing to go for. So again, I'm just testing the water here to see if this is the right weight. Difficult one with biceps because they tend to burn before they give up. But I'm gonna just increase that weight a little bit. Okay, this is complete guesswork to start with. Certainly if this is at the end of your workout or midway through your workout, the weights that you're gonna select are gonna depend on obviously what you've done prior. Right, 20, straight into 20. 15 into 15, 12, 10, 8. That is the order we're going for. Now, like I said, this may mean that the weight stays the same throughout. It may mean that I need to be changing that weight around to make it appropriate to get as close to failure as possible for that given moment in time. Right, anyway, 20 reps of tricep press downs. I've got to be conscious and calling myself out on the bullshit. If this is easy when it comes to 20, I need to adjust the weight accordingly for the 15 reps that will come when I come back to this, vice versa. Right, 1, 2. I'm hoping you're counting. Tom, on the camera, give us a shout. That's 7, 8, 9, 10. Obviously, great form is obviously what we're after. But on the other hand, when the technique starts to kick in, it starts to burn. It's all right for the technique to kind of drop a little bit, but we're really trying to keep it as good as possible. All right, so it was hard. It wasn't impossible, but you could see there the form was beginning to get a little bit over into the biceps. And here we go. 2, 3, 4. So here we go, I'm coming up to the halfway point. There's 10, beginning to feel it now. Again, try not to let yourself cheat too much. So that's 15. Okay, this is a good selection of the weight. 18, 19, 20. Again, totally appreciate that the intensity, that the technique isn't perfect. I'm gonna leave that at the same weight because I reckon I could do it. I don't know how many seconds have passed already, but I'm already breathing hard. 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. That last rep was nasty. Notice that I'm beginning to squat a little bit. This only goes this high. So me coming to up this high with the movement, it's donking. It's not letting me get a full range. So just by me squatting a little bit, allows me to get full range of motion there. Anyway, feeling pretty pumped already. Straight into 15 reps here. Obviously you don't want to be chatting to yourself in the gym whilst you're doing this. You want to focus and get it done. See, it's not even a full rep, but it's okay, I'm chasing the intensity. I think that's 14. I think that weight needs to change for the next set. Make the decision in the moment when your mind is fresh at the exercise. So I'm now down to 12 reps. I'm gonna stick with the same weight here. And now I'm going for the 12 reps. 3, 4, 5. Try and here the tendency is when it gets hard to lean over. Try and avoid that. I think that's 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that's 12. If I'm gonna drop to 10 reps, I'm gonna need that a little bit heavier. Interesting, isn't it? How this one's getting lighter, but that one's getting heavier. Doesn't feel lighter. 1, 2, 3. Again, remember, keep your shoulders pulled back here. 6. Couldn't even make a full rep on the last rep. Really important with this, you call yourself out on the technique as you go. All right, no one else is going to be impressed with the weight that you're lifting or not. So get it as good as you can. I'm down to 10 reps now. 9, 10. Okay, so I'm actually gonna go a little bit heavier on that for the last set of 8. This I'm gonna keep as it is. So you can see there's really not a lot of rest in between sets. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think that's gonna be just about right for the 8 reps. Last set here, on the 8 here for the triceps. And then last of all but not least, and stick around because I want to talk to you about something in a second when I finish this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, now, not that I've got the world's biggest arms, but Jesus, they feel really full. And I would imagine that even just in that little bit there, they would have pumped up by maybe a centimetre, all right? So great feeling, I feel great. When I walk out those gym doors, the memory that I have of the workout is integral to the frequency and the likelihood of my next visit. If I walk out of this gym going, did it work out? Maybe I've watched an episode or something on my phone whilst I'm on the treadmill, or my overall intensity from the workout, which isn't overly great. I walk out of the gym and do I feel like I do now? Most guys are gonna walk out of here feeling like a Marvel superhero because their arms are so pumped, right? And it will be noticeable to you, right? My pump right now might not even be noticeable to you. If I go and stand in front of that mirror, I know I'm going to feel a little bit more muscular. I'm going to feel a little bit more pumped and just a bit bigger. Most people might not be able to see that, but I can feel it. That's going to have a fantastic chain reaction in my mind. Do you know what? This is a Pure Gym, right? Where are Pure Gyms located? This is in a shopping centre, right? And I can tell you now, over that way is a 24-hour McDonald's. Over that way is a Costa and a Subway. There's a McDonald's food hall, not a Marks and Spencer's food hall straight opposite. There's a Sainsbury's supermarket over there. All of these things have all got all sorts of things to eat. Now, if I'm in a poor mindset, how easy is it for me to dive into Mackie D's and grab whatever? Do you see what I mean? As we're walking out the gym, feeling good, feeling positive, what's the likelihood of me getting to that T-junction and going right into McDonald's drive-through, or going left into Sainsbury's and maybe getting myself a bottle of protein shake, maybe a sandwich. And again, arguably we can talk about calories and all the rest of it, but you get my gist. How we think, how we feel, how we operate, how we behave can lead us towards different decisions and choices, right? So that's a really important thing to remember. Now, let me just go back over here to the bicep curls, right? And talk to you about what is likely to happen. When you get fatigued in your biceps, your body will find a crafty way of making things easier. So what's gonna happen here, number one, is as you're lifting that weight, you're gonna find yourself swinging with it. You're gonna find that you either wanna squat into it and use your legs to drive it up, or you're going to swing with your torso. Number one, this isn't great for your lower back, certainly if you're not primed for it and ready, but also you're only cheating yourself, right? It's not like it's completely negative to do that, but wouldn't it be better if we can go biceps only, work, and really get it strict? When your biceps have to work and only work, they send a lot more fuel into the bicep. They send a lot more blood with oxygen in there, which is going to lead you to that pump, to that feeling. The other thing to be aware of is because the weight here is dragging you forwards, you're getting more and more fatigued. So really, we want you standing here with your shoulder blades pulled back, your chest up, standing really tall and really proud. As you get more and more tired, those shoulder blades begin to drift and relax, and you start to slump forwards. Now when you start to curl, you're going to find that your elbows kind of spray out to the side a little bit. And that, if you don't feel it in the moment, you're going to start feeling that in your bicipital groove here, which can cause all sorts of problems later on when it comes to bench pressing, overhead pressing, all the rest of it. So yes, you're after creating an incredible intensity, but you're also trying to create that intensity through intelligent training, not just this is all getting intensive and I'll just burn through it. There's a time and a place for that, but really, as men in our 40s, 50s, 60s, switching into this and going, do you know what, actually, let's adjust the weight and let's really make the biceps work. So there's a couple of things to be aware of there, is the unpinning back of your shoulder blades and your body weight coming forwards. And the other one is obviously cheating or swinging with the biceps, all right? Just also on that, notice that I was switched on to how I was feeling. And actually, the weight became significantly lighter as I went through. With the triceps, the things to be aware of here is I'm not the tallest man in the world, but this annoying cable machine only goes so high. So remember, I got to here and the weight is now gone, which is why just stepping back slightly so you can take the strain, or just kneeing down into this and then being strict with the movement. Again, what can happen here, really common, and you'll see this all the time, is guys doing tricep press downs like this. Yes, they are putting work onto their triceps, but it's not like, you're impressively singling out the triceps. You're using your body weight to help you out. So you will also find that you are working your abdominals fantastically well when you are doing that in the same sort of posture, shoulders back, shoulders down, and push down. This machine is wanting to pull you forwards. This whole movement, when the weight is heavy and intense, is wanting to pull you forwards. And your abdominals have to go, to keep yourself upright. You will feel your abs working incredibly well, similar to like if you were doing a plank. Notice also, however, that for me, and this may be different for you depending on what you do for a living and generally the intensities in your everyday life, for me, I found that as the reps got less, I did actually need to add a little bit more weight onto it for the weight and the intensity to be appropriate for the rep range, all right? Just quickly before I finish, this style of training, I'm a massive fan of, and let me tell you why. If I said to you, 5 sets of 20 tricep into 20 bicep, non-stop, your head is probably going, that's hard. But it was 20 into 15, into 12, into 10, into 8. Psychologically, when I've just finished my 20 reps there and I go over here and come back again, I've got 5 reps less. When I've done that and it's over, I know when I'm coming back, it's less. So technically, when my head is in that sort of situation, it knows when I come back, it's going to be a little bit easier. What your mind doesn't know is that you're more fatigued and it's actually going to be harder. But still getting your head round into these kind of decreasing repetition sets, I've always been a massive fan of. Even back when I used to run fantastically subscribed beach boot camps and stuff like that, I used to use this kind of decreasing sets. You know, it might be, for example, like run up and down those stairs 10 times, come down, do 10 press-ups, but then the next one, you're gonna do 8 of those into 8 of these, and so on and so forth. It led you to think that there was a light at the end of the tunnel, which was a lot closer than actually you thought it was, all right? So that is something for you to try. Just quickly to go back to what I said at the beginning, to hog this whole frame for, I don't know how long that lasted for, let's just say 7 or 8 minutes, could be shied upon by other gym users, right? But there's nothing wrong with using this one straight bar here for biceps and triceps. You could just go, right, biceps down there, grab hold of the lever, slide that up, and then go straight into the triceps, all right? So a little bit of faffing about, rather than just going from one to the other, but it's a bit more courteous to other gym users, all right? So look, that is part of what makes up my Armageddon workout. We actually do about 4 different things similar to that, leaving you walking out the gym with your arms feeling like the Incredible Hulk. But I hope you enjoyed that. Now, obviously, if you are a man in your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s, you've got 3 stone or more to lose, then give us a shout, all right? Watching a video like this is gonna be great. It's gonna give you a lot of ideas, obviously motivation. Probably you're gonna take that and actually do it yourself in the gym. But remember, the one little video here and there you watch can make a difference, but is it giving you everything you need right now that's going to radically transform your life? Probably not. But listen, if you like it, keep watching this stuff, and whenever you're ready to reach out and actually ask for some more bespoke help, please just ask, all right? It may well be that I can just give you a little tip here and there that's going to really send you quite nicely along your way, or it might be that actually we're able to recognise that you do need a bit more help in regards to structure and routine, and even forecasting what's coming up in the week to help you steer your nutrition around it, all right? Anyway, part of the Armageddon. Hope you enjoy it.